This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to a special edition of the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Thursday, July 25th, 2019. In this session today, I wanted to focus on the advantages of utilizing both the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform, along with equity-alerts.com. This session is recorded, and I do appreciate any questions you might have. Normally, every Tuesday and Thursday, we focus on Clear Lines, just training and overview. But I wanted to take it a little further this week, just to go into a little additional information for you guys. For anyone that might be new today, let me give you a little background information. Again, my name is Kipp Cohen, and I was employed originally by WiseTrade for over 17 years, and wore many hats. Was their market strategist, was on our Traders Television Network, our WiseTrade TV, ran our alert service, kind of a little of everything. And last year, after multiple acquisitions, WiseTrade was shut down by their last owner, which was Ally Bank. At which time I decided to join forces with Lindsay Perry, aka the Matacat Kid, who was a WiseTrade customer, and Jim Chanel, also a WiseTrade customer. Actually, they had already started Equity Alerts. We were going to start it together about 3.5, 4 years ago, and timing was not right for me, so they started on. And then I just said, wait, be patient. We'll have the right timing, and finally the right timing came. So I joined up with them. They are my partners in equity-alerts.com. I have a second company called Clear Trading Systems, where I have two partners in that business. One is a developer, former developer of WiseTrade. I will leave him unnamed, just because he currently works for a brokerage firm. And then with my other partner is an amazing futures S&P trader. She's been trading S&P futures for a long time. She develops her own indicators, and so we started Clear Trading Systems for a couple of reasons. One was to develop the Clear Lines as a alternative or replacement for the WiseTrade red and green lines, because we knew there was a void that needed to be filled. And then we have other projects that we are working on, some in-house stuff for ourselves. And eventually, at some point, we'll probably come out with some additional indicators, trade indicators, proprietary, that we've developed. maybe even at some point some kind of automation. So those are kind of the things. They're focused right now on developing some stuff for our own use, and then once we're got that going, then we can focus some energy into some additional projects. But it was great. You know, it's been great. We had a lot of the Wise Trade community come join us, and you know, I've got a very loyal following. People that have been following me for 10, 15 plus years, 16, 17 years, a few people. And one of the things that I realized is that, you know, obviously trading in itself is not simple, and trading alone is even more complicated. It's tougher because you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of. You don't have anybody to look at something you're trading and, you know, give you a confirmation. Yeah, that does look good, or no, this is why I don't like it. And that's one of the big things I love about what we do at equity-alerts.com is we are a trading community. We're a trading family. And I like to use the term we're traders helping traders. We all three of us, me, Lindsay, and Jim, all do trade. I don't trade as much as they do just because it's very difficult while I'm on my webinar to actually put on my live trades. It's just very hard because you know, as a trader, you have to be hyper focused. Right now, I've been focusing on trading the Qs just because it's much easier. It's one thing. I wait, look for the right signal, and then put on my trade. So far, so good. Since I've started with the Qs, I'm 3 for 3. I missed my entry today. Actually, I missed 2 entries. I missed the long and a short. And that's part of the problem is that obviously sometimes I miss those. But what we realized is that it's great to have lots of other eyes there. Eyes to help with validating, eyes to help with finding opportunity, eyes to share ideas with, eyes to share and you know, your successes and your failures. So we've got a wonderful core group of traders with us at Equity-Alerts, and like I said, a lot of them have been around, been following me for a long time. You know, we are looking to grow. Right now, we're doing a lot of social media, putting out different marketing pieces, and we always appreciate any referrals that you guys give, or mentions, or shares, or likes. That's all appreciated. So having that community of traders, I think, is a big benefit to an individual, someone that's sitting in front of their computer all day long, rather than, you know, being at home or in an office by yourself, trying to find good trades. And between the three of us, Lindsay, Jim, and I, we put out some pretty great stuff every day. By no means are we 100%. I've had a tough couple of weeks actually, but thankfully Lindsay has been just amazing with his earnings plays. He just crushed it day before yesterday. His earnings plays were phenomenal. And that's one of the things about equity alerts that you get. You're not just getting active alerts, you're getting earnings, overnight plays. we're not so much into swing and position, but occasionally we throw stuff out. I tossed out GE late last year. I'm still in GE long. I'm up a couple of points on it. I mean, we're mainly focused on capturing daily profits or overnight profits, and we throw out a lot. We also have several of our members that are very active, and they're throwing out great trades throughout the day. Patrick and Paul, and Carl is throwing out some great ones, although sometimes it's after he's already in, but he's throwing out some good ones. We have a great community of traders helping each other out, sharing ideas, and being successful and having a good time while doing it. That's important. One of the things that I wanted to make sure was that we had fun, because trading is stressful. It's very stressful. And so you have to sometimes make light of it and have a good time and laugh a little, and we do that. So I just wanted to stress to you guys that may not currently subscribe, or only maybe subscribe to the Clear Lines. If you're trading actively and you're looking for somewhere to get involved every day, I encourage you to try us out. We do now give a free 1-week trial of our alert service, which if you just go to our website, equity-alerts.com, see where it says click here for 1 free week. No credit card required, just your name and email, and that's it. If you haven't tried us out, please give us a shot, see what you think, let me know. Email me if you have questions. We're here to help. All right, so let's talk a little bit now about Clear Lines and the relationship that I have with Medved Trader. So when I began developing Clear Lines, initially we wrote it for the TradeStation platform, and there were going to be some hurdles utilizing TradeStation just because it's such a different platform, and I knew not a lot of the community was using TradeStation. And so thankfully my former boss at Ally Invest introduced me to the guys at Medved, Jerry and Mike. They're the owners of the company. Medved Trader was developed by 2 guys that had developed a platform many years ago called Quote Tracker. Quote Tracker was eventually acquired by Ameritrade. This was way back, and so they're pretty sharp. They're man, they know how to build a platform that's robust. That's I think it can be, for somebody new to it that's not seen a platform like this, it can be a little intimidating, but once you kind of get your hands on it, it's actually really very simple to use, very user friendly. It's just a mental shift for those of you that had maybe used WiseTrade, which was an extremely simplistic platform. There's a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of buttons to push, a lot does a lot more. It is a modular program, which means that each window can be adjusted, the size, it can be moved. They do snap, but and you can open and close as a group, or individually you can open and close windows. So the Medved platform connects to multiple brokers. it if you go to the settings and click under trading accounts and then under add, you'll see the list of different brokers. So again, they already had a relationship with Ally Invest. So customers of Ally Invest or Ally Invest for MB Trading were provided access to Medved for free if they had a funded account with over $500 in it. And Medved normally charges $19.99 a month. They give you a month free, and then it's $20 a month. But if you have the funded account with Ally, then there's no charge for the Medved platform. They connect to the main big U.S. brokers are Interactive, TD Ameritrade, and E-Trade. There are some cryptocurrency brokers. There's a couple European. There's a Canadian broker, which is Questrade. Rhythmic, Robinhood, and Tradier are both American brokers. Optimus is a futures broker. Gain Capital Futures for those that trade futures. The great thing about the platform is you can trade anything through it. You can trade equities, options, commodities, futures, cryptocurrencies, Forex. I mean, pretty much anything. As long as you can get data for it, you can trade it. So you can connect to multiple brokers also. As you can see, I have multiple brokerage accounts connected: TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, Ally Invest for MB Trading, and then just Ally Invest. So you can trade out of multiple accounts. If you want to use Medved, but you don't have one of the integrated brokers, there's a couple of choices. One would be just to actually open an account with someone like TD Ameritrade, throw a little money in it, and they'll give you the quotes. That's one way. The other would be you would need to subscribe to either Stockwatch or Quote Media for data. Stockwatch is the one that most of my customers that are either Canadian or don't have, that they have Fidelity or Schwab, they use Stockwatch. It's about $22, $23 a month additional for the data. But again, if you just had a TD Ameritrade account secondarily, that would power your software. With Medved, you choose which accounts to utilize for your quotes. So you can choose any one of your accounts for your quotes, and you don't. In other words, like I have mine set to my TD Ameritrade for quotes, but even though I may trade out of a different account, I can trade out of any one of my accounts. I don't have to use the quotes from the account I'm trading from. In other words, if I were to make a trade through Interactive Brokers, I don't have to have quotes coming from Interactive. I can get the quotes from TD Ameritrade. So you pick where your quotes come from. Generally, once you pick it, you don't really need to change it. The only time you might need to change it is if you were wanting to view, and I'll show you an example, like we have what's called watch list, which are like baskets up at the top. So right now I have my Popper Dropper watch list open, which are all the symbols from my Popper Dropper list plus a handful of other symbols. This is being powered right now by TD Ameritrade. Okay, but let's say I wanted to look up some Forex, or let's do cryptocurrencies. Okay, if I wanted to watch some cryptocurrencies, okay, I can open up one of my watch list or portfolios, and you'll notice here, it'll show you next to the portfolio, and within the box, it'll show you what the source is. TD Ameritrade. See right here, Coinbase, or I have for Forex, I have Interactive Brokers. So if I open up my Bitcoin folder, my Bitcoin portfolio, you'll see that now that is sourced by Coinbase Pro. Okay. So if I want to see what the Bitcoin is doing today, I can just click on it up here. Hold on, I may have to backfill. Give it a second. Oh, hold on. Come on, load up. Of course, now it's not going to work. There it goes. Okay, there we go. Just took a second. So now I can see my Bitcoin chart. Okay. Same thing if I want to do Forex. The difference is I would have to open up my Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation, because that's one of their requirements to connect to a third party. You first have to open up their platform. I don't like TD Ameritrade. I don't have to do that, but I'll show you guys. So I have to open up my account, and this is just a demo account. It's still loading. Okay, so now that I have my Interactive Brokers workstation open, now I can go and let's close the Bitcoin and let's open up my Forex. And again, if you see here, now it shows that one source is Interactive Brokers. And then I can select Euro. I do have to go in and backfill the data. I may not have to. I'm going to go ahead and backfill it. There we go. So there's the pretty big move on the Euro today. So depending on your broker, you can view charts pretty much from any financial instrument with the software. All right, so I kind of jumped ahead of myself. Let's talk a little bit about the clear lines. So again, the clear lines were developed as close as I could get to the Wise Trade red and green lines without technically owning the algorithm. And even though Wise Trade is out of business, that company and the product, the intellectual property is still owned by Ally Invest. So I didn't want to violate any laws, risk anything. So, you know, plus I don't own the algorithm, but my developer did work on it, so he was pretty intimate with it. And like I said, we got as close as we could without actually owning it. So the one main difference you'll notice is that there's just not sometimes as smooth on the turns as the old Wise Trade. That's the biggest difference. Everything else is pretty much the same, and a lot of that smoothing can be corrected based on if Medved could change out their charting package. It's a function of the charting package to create that smoothing. But you know, at quick glance, I can look at a monthly, weekly, and daily chart just to view the overall trend. And one of the differences of Medved they have two different types of charts. They have historical, which is the right chart, day, week, and month, and then they have intraday, which is the minutes. So you'll see something else different. This is something I added to the software that WiseTrade did not have, even though WiseTrade had arrows on the overview page. They didn't have anything on the actual chart. So I added these arrows on the chart that shows after a confirmed cross. What that means is the lines have to cross, the interval has to close to confirm it's a real cross, and then you get an arrow. So visually, it really provides a nice, clear view of when the lines cross and give you a solid confirmation. What we have found is especially when you're active trading, when you're using minute lights, especially the 1 and 3 minute light and the 5, when you get a confirmed arrow on the 1, 3, and 5, like one after the other, typically that's a pretty strong confirmation of a trend change. Those are some of the best moves that we get when those three line up. But it's pretty clear here on let me go to even down to the daily chart, or let's look at the weekly. There you go. So back on the weekly in January, you had a confirmation arrow to the upside. Early January, the week of the 22nd, you had a confirmation arrow, and that remained for some time. Now, there are going to be times where the lines are going to roll over and you're not going to get a confirmation because they kind of cross, but sometimes due to gaps, it's not as clear. So you want to obviously confirm it, look at the charts, but that was a pretty big move up. And then you had a secondary arrow to continue higher. That was a 55-point move up when that confirmed. So you had a long term that had just curved up, a weekly that confirmed it, and then the other really cool thing is that you can scroll back on the daily chart, which you couldn't do in WiseTrade, and I can go all the way back to January, where that thing bottomed out and then began its move up on the daily. You can also shift between different periods of time on the chart. If you want to see 100 intervals or you want to see 200 intervals. So I can look at this daily chart and I can go all the way back to October of last year, and I can see, the daily trend of Apple. Again, these were things you could not do. And then you can scroll back further. I mean, I can scroll all the way back to 1993. How about that? How would you like to have bought Apple down around $1 back in 93? So there's a lot of different things that we can do that we couldn't do before with this platform. Top left, you'll notice, is the indexes. You can put different indexes in. You can select, there's a list based on what your broker provides. I keep it simple. I just want the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the VIX, and that's it. I could add it over here instead, but I don't like the way it looks. So in this window, I could go indexes, show index panel, and then, then I have that down here. But because of space limitations, I like the way I have it set up now, where, I have one window just for my indexes, one window for my watch list, and then my chart windows. You're only limited by the amount of desktop space. So the more desktop space you have, the more charts you can open up. And you can have multiple watch lists open, by the way, as well. You'll notice these little push pins, they're blue because everything's linked. So if I click on this window, it ties to these two windows because they're all linked together. You can have a totally separate window, monitor, and have another watch list with a different group of charts, and you can link those together so that when you click that watch list, it only loads up on those charts. So again, it just depends on how you want to customize it. One of the things that I do for my customers, my new subscribers to Clearlines, is that we set up a time for me to log on remotely to your computer. We get on the phone together. We have a conversation. I download and install the platform on your computer. And then we talk about your needs, and I build a layout specifically for you. We take the basic two layouts that are pre-built, which are on the Medved platform for my subscribers in the layout library. There's two pre-built swing and active trading layouts that have 8 time frames associated with them. I'll show you real quick. That's this layout. This was originally built with kind of the wise trader in mind, with the 8 time frames. Hold on a second. I need to restart real quick. So I'll spend about an hour on the phone with you, help you set it up, and then we'll kind of go through it together. I'll step by step show you, and then let you take over the mouse and let you push buttons and kind of give you a overview of the software. And then, as you know, I do these twice weekly training sessions that allow for you to ask questions and listen in. So the basic layout, starting layout, kind of looks like this, and then we kind of go from there and build out a custom layout to your liking. So some people like this just because they can see a bunch of different time frames. Again, just depends on what your personal needs are. So in the mornings, I always use the 2-chart layout because it's just more easy to see. It's a little more clear. Showing just the 2. And then when we get to market open, I switch to my popper dropper layout, which is geared towards more active trading. Any questions at this point? Any questions? I do want to encourage, if any of you have a specific question for me, please don't hesitate. You can send it through GoToMeeting. There's a chat box. So Medved, they provide technical support, but only through email. They don't provide phone support. If you ever have an issue, you just go File, Help, and you can either click email support here, or if you're having an issue, they have this thing called send log and settings to support. You can type a message here and then send the log, and it sends it to them, and then they'll respond. They're very quick to respond. Very quick. If you need, and that's, you would strictly contact them for any technical issues with the platform, which rarely happens, but it can happen. For training issues or training questions, those you send to me. And those can be sent to me by email, kipp@equityalerts.com. You can text me on my phone or call me. if I'm on my webinar, usually I won't be able to answer, but if you text me, I'm pretty quick to respond, or if you email me. And then I do personally handle my support issues or answer your questions. I take care of those myself. If it's a matter of you needing some help with the platform after that initial consultation, that's fine. I provide ongoing support. Again, I can remote into your computer, look at anything. If you had a problem with the layout and need to fix it, I can help you. If you have specific questions and want me to show you something, I can do that. Typically, I reserve the afternoons for assisting my Clearlines customers, since I'm on my webinar in the mornings until 12:30 Eastern, but pretty much most days after 12:30, of course, unless it's during this period, I can typically help out. And of course, during this session, twice weekly, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock Eastern, definitely if you have any training type questions, please come in here and ask away. So let's delve a little deeper into the platform. One of the really great things that I've found to love, well, there's many of them, but one of the great things I really love is that we have the ability to turn on and off candlestick charts. Some of you love them, some of you hate them. I like them because remember, these red and green lines are not price lines. They're buying and selling momentum, or buying and selling pressure lines. Okay. So you're not always going to get the, if you look at the top of a red and green line, it's not always where the price went. Sometimes the price goes higher, or sometimes the price goes lower. So by overlaying candlesticks, well, you couldn't do this with WiseTrade. By overlaying candlesticks, you can see exactly where that price went or is going. It's very helpful. For those of you that are more technical traders, then you can also see the different candle patterns. I'm not a candle person. I don't, I'm not a doji or shooting star. I don't follow that. But some of you are, and if you are, you can turn those on and you can view that. It does become very helpful for things like if you're using moving averages or pivot points or Fibonacci levels, you will definitely need to add in your candlesticks, which leads into my next subject, which is the other really wonderful aspect of the clear lines, is that you can add other indicators with it. You could not do that on the WiseTrade platform. You had the red and green line and that was it. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? If y'all recall, when we got into the, and it just went totally blank, our secondary platform that had price charts secondarily. I can't believe I just went blank. Anyway, we were using price charts and the WiseTrade pressure charts. They were separated, but we were using them both. I can't believe I just went blank on that. The other platform we had. Come on, someone help me out that remembers it. So anyway, you can, the beautiful thing and what we have been doing is that we utilize some other indicators. You'll notice on my chart some lines going across. I use 3 different types of pivots that are measured off of a daily basis. I use the daily pivots, or what's called pivot points. No, not MB. Hold on. It's going to bug me till I, hold on. It's going to kill me till I remember it. I just totally went blank. Lightwave. Lightwave. Jeez, I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Lightwave. The Lightwave platform, which integrated everything into one, all the different products, and also had separate price charts. Anyway, we were already using a lot of other technicals. So this chart has daily pivots, something called a DMARC pivot, which has a DMARC's high, low, and center line. Like right here is the DMC, that's the DMARC center. And then I'm also using now Fibonacci pivots, FR1, Fibonacci resistance 1, Fibonacci support 2. This line that you see here, this is the volume weighted average price, or VWAP. That's another one we use. We like to use that for finding potential targets. So like if you, let's say you got long down here on Apple, we would use this as a potential target. Actually, what we would use is a combination of the DMARC low, DML, and the VWAP as a potential price target, because you got the two together. So that's a confluence of two different indicators. And then of course we would probably also, on top of that, we would use Fibonacci levels. So the platform allows you to draw fib levels. We like to use the first 15-minute, measure the high and low of the first 15, as you see there, and then go back to my 3-minute. So if I was like, here's a great example. If I was looking to go long, Apple, my target would be somewhere in this range right here, because I've got the 100% of the first 15-minute, which is basically the first 15-minute low. I've got the DMARC, DML, and then I have the volume weighted average price. So somewhere between 207.80 and 207.97, 98 would be my target for if I was going long right now. Those are very helpful. Show me the DM pivots. So on Apple, you have the DML right here, the DMARC low, the DMARC center line right here, which is right with the 50% fib level, and then this is the DMARC high, DMH. Those are the three levels for today. What sometimes happens is that they'll line up, you know. I like them because stocks tend to move to these different levels. So we've added in different indicators. As we get into more active trading, we utilize, we also utilize on a 1-minute parabolic stop and reverse. We use the Bollinger Bands on the 3-minute. Again, that's personal preference. It's up to you if you want to utilize those, but there is a very full list of indicators that is available on the platform. A very full list, very extensive list. I think I counted there were like 150 or something. There are a bunch of them. So you can see I have volume. Clear lines technically is an indicator. If you were just using the Medved platform without the clear lines, you would see it here, but there would be a little lock next to it. You wouldn't be able to access it without subscribing. Pivot points, VWAP, demarc pivots, center, high, and low, Fibonacci pivots, which I have pivot plus resistance 1, 2, and 3, and support 1, 2, and 3. And then the daily pivot points, which I go all the way up to support and resistance 4. The other really great thing that I just love about the platform is the ability to trade directly on the charts. So you'll see I can access that through the trading button, or I have hotkeys. So let's say, let me just put 200 shares. Let's say I wanted to buy 200 shares on a market order of Apple. I stage my order, and then when I'm ready to enter, I hit the check sign, and then boom, it fills the order. All right, and I can tie that into any broker on my list. Okay, whichever broker I want to tie it to, I select. And then I can set my stop loss directly on the chart, or if I want to use a bracket order, I can set a bracket order. So let's say, unfortunately, there's about 15 minutes left in the trading day, so there's really not enough time for this to evolve. But let's say, you know, we timed our entry correctly, we looked at our risk to reward. My target would be somewhere right on this, near this DML. So I would, oops, hold on. I would click the buy button, the sell button, because I'm long, excuse me. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. I would pick where I wanted to set my target. So let's say my target is 207.90. Hold down my mouse, move down to put my stop. The really cool thing about the Medved platform is that you can see on the software how much your loss is going to be and how much your profit's going to be, okay, based on where you set your orders. So right now I have a order staged for a bracket with a stop at 206.87. If I get stopped out, I lose $86. My target, 207.90, I make $120. Once I'm comfortable with that level, then I just hit the checkbox, and that sends the order to my broker. The great thing about this is that it allows me to quickly calculate risk to reward, right? I know I'm risking $86 to make $120. So roughly that's a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. I'm risking 1 to make 1.5. Risking 120 to I'm risking 86 to make 120. Okay. So it makes it real easy to calculate all of that and figure that out. So having this on your charts, being able to chart trade, makes this platform even more powerful, more robust, quicker, makes you able to execute change orders. So here's the other thing. If I want to change an order, okay, if I need to move my stop up, let's say I'm moving into profit and I want to trail my stop up, I can slide the bottom of this up, the stop side of it, pick a spot, and then hit the M to modify the order. Boom. There's no going back to another window, entering a new price, submitting that order. It's quick, simple step. Move the line up or down, and then checking off the modification. You can also double click on the capsule, on the price, and I can use the arrow up and down to move the price up and down, and then check, and then modify. So you can very quickly make modifications to orders on the chart without losing a heartbeat, without missing a second. Which, when you're trading more actively, as you know, you need to be like boom, boom, boom. When we're in the webinar in our equity alerts broadcast every day, you'll see in the trades we do where I put in a trade, I put in a bracket order, and then as it moves into profit, I start adjusting my stop up and trailing that trade if I'm long, or trailing it if I'm going short down my stops. So you see the movement, you see the how quick and easy it is. And there's tremendous value in that. There's not very many platforms where you can make changes that quickly on the fly. So this is one of the probably one of the, I think, the best pieces of this platform is the fact that you can very quickly enter and exit trades on the charts. So talking about entering and exiting, a couple other quick features I want to share, which a lot of platforms don't have. This button right here, reverse. If I realize, oh no, I've gone the wrong way, or my trade's flipped and I want to go the opposite direction, I can hit that and it'll turn my long into a short. It'll close out the long trade and then turn around and short it. If I feel like, oh, the market's about to close, I need to get out of this trade now, right here, the flatten button. All I have to do, I'm going to show you right now, is hit it. What it's going to do is it's going to exit and cancel the other two orders that are sitting there open. Boom. Canceled the two open orders, the stop and the limit, and then exited on a market. It's that quick. So for things, when things are moving really fast and you need to just get out of a trade, especially if you got one that like moved in your favor, like 50 cents, like real fast, and you're like, I need to grab my profits, flatten. That's the best part. So very quickly, you can get in and get out of trades directly from the Medved platform. There are, and I'm going to show you real quick just the layout for my active trading, the popper dropper layout. So this is a little more intense. I can watch two stocks simultaneously. You'll notice there's a 1 and 3 minute, and then you can't see it on my other screen, but there's also a 5-minute chart as well. And you'll see on my 3 minutes that's got some additional indicators. There's the Bollinger Bands. We also have on the 1 minute we have RSI. We look for overbought, oversold on the 1 minute, and there's one other one. ATR trailing stop is one that Jim has been using. I haven't really been following it real closely, but we have that one as well. But again, you can keep it as simple as you want and just use red and green lines, or you can make it more complex with lots of other indicators, depending on your own personal trading needs. To change out symbols real quick and easy, you can either just click from the watch list, or you can just type on the chart. If I just want to load, let's say, Alcoa, hit enter to start typing on the chart, and you can add a symbol that way. The top two, the top charts, Netflix, that is tied to the watch list. The bottom is not tied to a watch list. It's just whatever I type in it. They're linked together, but not to a watch list. The platform has a lot of other features that I don't want to go into today, but there's a scanner. There is a let me, hold on. There's a, on the charts, you can do candle patterns. It'll actually, for those of you that are big into candle patterns, you can pick different patterns on the list, and it'll notate it on the chart if that pattern has been met. This is great for those of you that specifically look for very specific patterns. And what I'll do real quick, I'll just show you on, let's go to Alcoa. Let's go to a 10-minute chart. And then let's pick Doji. Let's do Doji. Do Doji and a gravestone doji and a shooting star. Okay. So I select those. I apply, click OK. And so see all these little stars? Whenever a star appears, it means it met that pattern. So like that was a doji. That was a doji. We had another doji, another doji, another doji. So for those of you that are into that and want to see those different patterns on the chart, this is huge. Again, one of those great things, we don't really utilize this because I'm not into the patterns, but I know some traders are. And you can select that from any chart. Each chart has the candle pattern feature. You can turn it on and turn it off. We just have a couple minutes left. Any questions for me? Any questions? There's also a scanner feature that they have different, for those that, you know, they have this, it's called Scan Paint Bar Manager. They have some pre-built scans and then like certain candle patterns or unusual volume, death cross. There's a bunch of different ones that they pre-built, and then you can also develop your own. You can develop your own. You can write your own scans, but that's something else. And then it scans all the symbols within a single watch list. Ann says, "Would you show how to enter the bracket order again?" We're okay. I'm going to do it real quick because we're just about at it. The market's about to close, and I don't want to get stuck. So here's a short on Alcoa. I select bracket order, and then I put my mouse. I put buy since I'm short. So I see loss, and then I see gain, and then so I know my loss versus my gain, and then I press the checkbox to commit the order. So now I have a stop loss at 22.92 and a take profit at 22.69. So I'm risking 40 to make 75. And then if I want to get out of the trade, I just got to hit that flatten button. It cancels the orders and gets me out of the trade immediately. Unfortunately, market's closing in less than a minute. That's the other neat thing. Right at the top here, you'll notice there's a clock. Tells me the current time and how much time before the market closes. 47 seconds left. So you have a little countdown clock for the market. I want to thank you guys for attending today. Again, if you are not currently a subscriber to Clearlines or to Equity Alerts and you're interested in learning more about both or either one, please send me an email, kip@equity-alerts.com. You're welcome to also give me a call or text me at 972-841-8886. Again, if you have specific questions or interested in learning more, you can go to our website, equity-alerts.com. Oops. and we offer the free 1-week trial for the alerts only. I don't give a free trial on the clear lines, mainly because of the time involved in getting you set up, and it really takes, you need at least a month with it to kind of get a feel for the platform. So it's easier just to, it's reasonable enough to get started. $59 a month for the clear lines if you have Ally Invest. If not, if you have one of the integrated brokers, your first month, it's only $59. After a month, you have an additional $19.99 from Medved. And then if you don't have one of the integrated brokers, you have an additional $20 for the data feed. Again, if you'd like to learn more about that, or you want to do a trial of the equity alerts and see what we do every day, let me know. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great afternoon. Some of you guys I'll see in the morning, and I hope to see some of you back here next week. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm here providing training and support for my Clear Lines customers. Have a great evening, everyone. See y'all later. Bye-bye.